guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my July reading wrap-up, and it's probably going to be the shortest reading wrap-up ever done on BookTube. I did not have a great reading month last month, or for a while. I've been in the biggest book slump. I've picked up so many books, and I will get like 20-30% in, and then I totally lose interest, so I put them down, and then I start a new one. So I have not been finishing many books. I also have been doing Chantel's Bible reading challenge, which really is a challenge because it's reading the Bible in 3 months, and it's a lot more reading than I'm used to because I normally just read at night when I'm going to bed for like 15 minutes and then I fall asleep. And the reading challenge requires me to read about an hour's worth of the Bible every day. That just hasn't been the easiest for me to do. I'm not too far behind on that. So I guess I will mention that a little bit on here. I think I'm about a week behind, which honestly, that's like 7 hours worth of reading. So I guess that is a lot behind, but it could definitely be worse. I was doing really great until we hit Isaiah. And that's when I started getting really slumpy because, I find Isaiah to be kind of confusing because of the timeline of the prophecies. I feel like it bounces all over the place with what's going to happen and when and all of that. But I've made it through Isaiah, so hopefully it gets a little easier from here for me. Anyway, these are the books that I actually finished in July. The first one was Desperate Measures by Christy Barritt. She is just one of my favorite Christian authors. I have read several books from different series of hers, and I have loved everything that I have read, no matter what series it is. This book was from the love-inspired suspense books, though, not part of like her series, but I think there are 2 books to this, I think. Don't quote me on that. This one reminded me a lot of Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. It's about a woman who is on the run, hiding, and she has her son with her, and she gets found out, and this man who is fixing up like rental properties on a small island in the Chesapeake Bay invites her to come stay in some of those huts to help renovate and to like hide out. So there's a lot of like intrigue and suspense, some crazy things going on. I really did enjoy this story. I like the characters a lot. I love the setting because I kind of grew up on the Chesapeake Bay. I used to go crabbing there a lot with my pop. It did have romance in it, and I think the romance happened too quickly for me, but I still really like the story. So I gave that 4 stars. The next one was The Captive Heart by Michelle Grepe. Feel like I've read quite a bit from Michelle Grepe now. This is Christian historical fiction, and it is a marriage of convenience story that takes place, I think, like 1770 in South Carolina. And it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, or it's inspired by Beauty and the Beast. I didn't pick up on that when I was reading it, but after I finished it, I read someone's review that said that Michelle Grepe mentioned that, and I was like, yeah, I can totally see that, and I'm not sure how I missed it. So it is about this woman who basically is an orphan. She's working for a rich family in England, and the husband hits on her. She ends up losing her job, and she gets put on a ship headed to America. And when she gets here, she's supposed to start working for someone here. And when she gets here, things go awry, and she ends up having to have a marriage of convenience. And this is a very interesting time in America. So it's before the American Revolution, but stuff is definitely brewing. And you're kind of in the wilderness of South Carolina, like things really aren't built up, and she ends up living like way out in the woods. It's just really interesting. Parts were kind of depressing, but it was educational, and I enjoyed the characters a lot. There was a lot of faith in this story, very faith-based, so I recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. Next one I read was Summer by the Tides by Denise Hunter. This is the first Denise Hunter book I've ever read. I'm not really big on like contemporary romance books in general, but every now and then I like to pick one up, especially in summertime if I'm looking for like a very summery read. This was a very summery read. It takes place at the beach, I want to say North Carolina, and it's about this grandmother who lives at the beach and she disappears. She goes missing, and her next door neighbor, who is this man who's very close to her, calls her granddaughters. She has 3 granddaughters. He calls all the granddaughters to come to her house and help look for her. And when all the granddaughters show up, you learn that there is a lot of family drama between them. They have been estranged for a very long time. And so they have to, like, you know, deal with their issues and where is grandma, and they're on the beach. There's a restaurant in this. The next door neighbor owns a restaurant, and one of the daughters had been like a manager of a restaurant, and I really loved those parts of the story because I have a restaurant background, and so anytime they talked about that, it made me miss working in restaurants, and I kind of want to go back to that. I really enjoy that sort of job. Oh, the thing I did not like about it was there were several times that there were misunderstandings from the girls' part. I am not the biggest fan of misunderstandings in stories or romances. They always kind of annoy me, if you know what I mean. But there was faith content in this book, and I did really like the characters, just didn't like the misunderstandings. The next one I read was Echo by Jessica Ashley. I read a few of her other books from a different series she has, and I love her books. She writes contemporary romantic suspense books. This book is about a woman who gets discovered half dead in a creek, almost drowned. She gets rescued by this man, Ethan Hunt. He is part of the Hunt brothers search and rescue team. It's a set of brothers who were all in the military, and when they got out, they decided to start their own company where they hunt down people who are missing or lost or kidnapped or whatever. So she gets discovered by Ethan Hunt, and he saves her life. And when she wakes up, she realizes she has amnesia and cannot remember anything from her past or how she ended up half dead in a creek. So the story gets pretty crazy because there is definitely a reason why she was half dead in a creek. And so her past is following her, and she has no idea why or what's happening. So lots of saving going on. This story takes place in Texas. The Hunt brothers and their parents all live on a ranch. They all have like separate houses on this ranch, and they're a really close family. There is so much faith in this book, and that's something I really love about Jessica Ashley, is that she puts a huge amount of faith into her stories, and her characters, you know, are not perfect. And a lot of times they start from a place where they're having issues with their faith and they have to work through it and deal with things, questioning things. I love that because I find that to be so relatable. And I definitely want to read the other books in the series. All the other books follow the other brothers. Also, this was book 2 in a series. I didn't realize that when I started it. There's a book before this, but I didn't need to read the first book to read this book. There was some mention of another brother and things that had happened in the first book, but I wasn't confused or, you know, feeling like I had to stop reading this one to go back to the first one. So I kind of feel like maybe you can start wherever you want. But yeah, I really loved it. So those are the books that I read in July. I only finished 4 books. Let's see how August goes. Maybe it'll be a little bit better, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, have you guys read any of these books or from any of these authors? If so, let me know what you thought of them, and I hope everybody had a great July and you have a great August, and I will see you soon. Bye.